Welcome to this week's Jackson County Board of Commissioners meeting. This meeting is held in the Jackson County Courthouse Auditorium at 10 South Oakdale in Medford. This meeting is held every Wednesday morning at 9:30, as long as a quorum of 2 commissioners is available to conduct the business of Jackson County. Your Jackson County Commissioners broadcast this meeting over Rogue Valley Television, and it's available for streaming and review at jacksoncountyor.gov. Under the Government tab, under Recorded Meetings, click on RVTV Live Streaming. The types of business that occur at this meeting include public hearings, official voting on actions by the Board of Commissioners, presentations by departments of the county, and recognition of service that makes our county great. Agendas of the meetings are posted on the Commissioners' Bulletin Board and released on the county's website and through local media in the time required for public notice. Many of the conclusions on the business presented to the Board of Commissioners have been discussed in detail and prepared by the administrative office and staff prior to consideration at this meeting and the official vote. These prior discussions also have been properly noticed and the work done in a transparent manner. We encourage you to come and experience the process by attending any of these meetings or watch online at jacksoncountyor.gov. And now, your Jackson County Commissioners, Randy Sparacino, Rick Dyer, and Colleen Roberts, working for you.
Good morning. It's a little after 9:30, so we'll call the Board of Commissioners regular meeting for June 10th, 2026 to order. We're here in the Courthouse Auditorium and on audio-video conference. Start today's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. We'll move now into our request for and discussion of non-agenda items. We do have a 5-minute limit pursuant to the codified ordinances of Jackson County, section 213.06. Members of the public may address any item not on the agenda. However, pursuant to ORS 192.640, the Board of Commissioners is prohibited from discussing a principal subject that is not on the agenda. Therefore, the Board of Commissioners will listen to your concerns and may consider the matter you raise by asking staff to follow up on any questions or by placing the matter on the agenda for discussion at a future meeting. We do have one individual signed up, and that's Sean Rhymes. If you'll come on up and give your name and address for the record before speaking, we appreciate it.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Sean Rhymes. You want my address?
Yeah, or
Yeah.
in Jackson County, whatever.
Yeah, I'm in Jackson County down in Ashland, 3560 Siskiyou Boulevard.
Thank you.
This is my address. My business is Paradise Footwear. We recently moved to downtown Main Street 3 months ago. And so far, we love it. We love being down here. It's pretty cool. It's been a good move for us so far. You know, one of my main concerns when I was evaluating whether to move or not was kind of, you know, the state of downtown. And when I looked around, I saw it had gotten much better than the way things were back in 2020. So I definitely appreciate that improvement, and it really looked like there was momentum to keep making things better. So that's important to me. As I've talked with various people about the state of downtown and what we need to do to make it better, and including city council. One thing that I've repeatedly heard is we got an issue with jail capacity. That's a acute issue, and that's the main resource constraint we're facing. One of the core functions of government is safety and the rule of law. Crime in this county, as I estimated, it's costing $171 million per year. That's big. The jail is already continuously operating at capacity. So any reduction in capacity means that someone who has been deemed otherwise too dangerous to be released into the general public is going to be released back onto the streets. My background's engineering. One of the fundamental principles that we were taught is the Pareto principle. It says that most problems are caused by a few issues. From everything I've heard, jail capacity is a big hitter issue when it comes to safety and law and order in our community. It should be a top priority. I love to fish. Fishing is one of my hobbies. It's a lot of fun, and it's well proven that catch and release is a very effective method for maintaining a healthy fish population. Unfortunately, I think that also applies to criminal behavior. We don't want to turn people out until they have been deemed safe for the general community. I'm here speaking on behalf of both my direct business interests as well as my concerns as a citizen of this county. I have to believe that there are other lower priority issues that we could take the money from. I totally understand resource and budget constraints, having to prioritize what's most important and what's less important. I think jail capacity is a very high priority for this county. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Would you like me to respond to that?
Sure, absolutely. I think probably deserve.
I'm not sure how much you studied our budget, but I'll let you know that 80% of our discretionary spending goes towards public safety, at least 20% for everything else we do in the county. So there isn't additional funding to put into public safety. Our Board of Commissioners does support the proposal of a new jail. In fact, we've referred that to voters to create a district to be able to fund the construction and the operation of a jail. I'll tell you, when we referred that in 2020, it failed miserably. So the majority of the community didn't agree with that approach, at least. And the cost was about a little under $400 a square foot to build that jail. The cost now is about $1,200 a square foot to build the same jail. So the cost is only going further up and further out of control. County's limited by our tax base to $2.01 per thousand. We're in the bottom quarter of the state. And in addition to that, when our tax rate was set, we were receiving about $23 million a year in timber revenue, which we've lost 20 plus years ago. It's the equivalent today of about $1.33 per thousand. So just to get to baseline operations of where we were 20 plus years ago, it would require $1.33 per thousand, and that doesn't include adding new capacity. Our voters just have not shown the will to be able to fund those issues. We are limited in the way we can develop revenue, and so without the assistance of a tax base, a new jail is pretty much a non-starter.
And with that said, we are still exploring options and strategies and not giving up completely, but it is, as Mr. Jordan stated, a very tough situation. So anyone else in the auditorium wishing to speak? Robin, not today? No, all right. Don't want to put you on the spot, but you can. Come on up.
Robin Lee, Medford, Oregon. I'm the crime-fighting bill. I've got a petition in my car. Not bill, an initiative to put it on the ballot.
Thank you. All right. Anyone online with their Zoom hand raised to speak?
Mr. Chair, I do not have anyone on Zoom with their hand raised.
Thank you. We'll move on then. In the consent calendar, which today consists of minutes of meetings of the Board of Commissioners staff meeting of May 14th, 2026, Board of Commissioners work session, May 19th, 2026, Board of Commissioners regular meeting of May 20th, 2026, and the Board of Commissioners staff meeting of May 21st, 2026, and an order terminating Ann Smith as a member of the Active Transportation Advisory Committee, which is order number 135-26.
I move approval of the consent calendar as read.
Second.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes. All right, moving on, we have a public hearing today, and it's a public hearing and orders adopting supplemental budget number 3 for fiscal year 2025-2026, and this is order number 136-26. Mr. Jordan, take a deep breath, because I know this is going to be a long one.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, first let me start by saying we do supplemental budgets when we will exceed appropriation authority in any fund. The purpose is that we can't exceed appropriation authority by the end of the fiscal year. We don't do a supplemental budget every time we receive additional funding or need to make a change in how we're spending money between funds. That would be a copious amount of supplemental budgets. So here we are, supplemental budget number 3 before the end of the current fiscal year, which is the end of this month. With that said, most of what we bring forward in the form of a supplemental budget involves actions that contractually the board's already taken to execute. It's really a cleanup of accounting for those actions for the most part. So I do typically read this all into the record so the public can have the chance to comment. So in accordance with Oregon Revised Statute 294-473 sub 1 sub B, notice for the supplemental budget was published in the Rogue River Press on Wednesday, June 3rd, 2006. As I said, this is the third supplemental budget for fiscal year 25-26. Supplemental budget number 3 for fiscal year 25-26 will increase appropriation authority in the capital projects, central services, exposition park, general road funds as follows. Capital Projects Fund, General Fund resources in the amount of $135,000 were removed from Central Services Fund, County Administration Department and Facility Maintenance Program. They'll be used for camera server upgrades for the courthouse, district attorney and corrections building. General Fund reserves in the amount of $25,000 will fund engineering costs associated with fiscal year 26-27 budgeted vacuum sewage system upgrade project at the Juvenile Justice Building. These adjustments will increase the operating expenses category by $160,000 from $5,469,896 to $5,629,896, and it will increase the total capital project fund appropriation by that same amount of $160,000 from $5,469,896 to $5,629,896. In the Central Services Fund, the Facility Maintenance Program and the County Administration Department has what we call various B7. B7 is the form we fill out to propose and complete capital projects, totaling $200,194. It includes the installation of air sensors in 12 libraries and other miscellaneous library projects in the amount of $134,028. Funded by the Jackson County Library District. Additional costs of $55,853 related to renovations of the Roads and Parks building at 915 on Antelope Road that are funded from the General Road Fund. Development of a flood plan in the amount of $9,713 funded by the Jackson County 4-H Master Garden and Agricultural Extension Service District, and also some minor electrical work at the Health and Human Services building in the amount of $600. The Justice Building Cooling Tower Replacement Project, which was budgeted in fiscal year 25-26 for $150,000, has been deferred and rebudgeted for fiscal year 26-27. Facility Maintenance is shifting $135,000 of unspent general fund resources to the Capital Projects Fund to support camera server upgrades for the courthouse, district attorney, and corrections building, and reduce their operating expense category by that same amount of $135,000. As a result of these adjustments, the operating expense category and the overall County Administration Department budget will increase by $65,194 from $9,987,324 to $10,052,518. Total net effect of this adjustment will increase the Central Services Fund appropriations by that same amount of $65,194 from $23,930,323 to $23,995,517. In the Exposition Park Fund, we have additional rental income in the amount of $52,032. That will be used to replace the Event Center sound system, which has failed and was approved for replacement by the Fair Board. A transfer from the general fund of $31,000 to fund a contract with Kemper Sports Consulting. This is for pre-opening activities at the Multi-Use Pandemic Response Center, sports courts, and non-dedicated fund balance of $76,185 will be used for a PERS side account payment. The result of these adjustments will increase the operating expense category by $159,217 from $3,084,157 to $3,243,374. Total net effect of this adjustment will increase the Exposition Park appropriations by that same amount of $159,217 from $3,184,157 to $3,343,374. I'm almost done. In the general fund, the Community Justice Department is receiving new grant funding in the amount of $320,164 from the Criminal Justice Commission for improving people's access to community-based treatment, supports, and services, which carries the acronym of IMPACTS. That'll be used to establish a program and collaborative efforts between community justice, health and human services, law enforcement, and partner agencies that include the Addictions Recovery Center, Continuum Behavioral Health and Recovery, and Medford Treatment Center. Funding will also support a contracted data analyst position to provide needs assessment, pre-release referrals, peer engagement, and transition planning aimed at reduced jail bookings and higher engagement with mental health substance use disorder services. The result of this adjustment will increase the operating expense category and the overall Community Justice Department by $320,164 from $31,434,403 to $31,754,567. Fiduciary is reducing reserves by $25,000 and increasing transfers in that same amount to the capital projects fund for budgeted fiscal year 26-27 Justice Building Vacuum Sewage System Upgrade Project, incurring engineering costs this fiscal year. Fiduciary will also reduce its operating expense category by $31,000 and increase transfers category by that same amount by transferring to the Exposition Park Fund for a contract with Kemper Sports Consulting for pre-opening activities and the Multi-Use Pandemic Response Center for Sport Courts. The result of these adjustments will increase the fiduciary transfer category by $56,000 from $24,905,182 to $24,961,182 and decrease fiduciary operating expenses by $31,000 from $751,000 to $720,000. The overall impact to the general fund fiduciary budget is an increase of $25,000 from $37,090,817 to $37,115,817. Total net effect of these adjustments will increase general fund appropriations by $345,164 from $175,126,039 to $175,471,203. And last but not least, the general row fund contingency in the amount of $128,353 will be used for additional remodel costs for the Road and Parks building at 915 on Antelope Road, as well as repairs to building at 916 after it was damaged by a vehicle running through it. The result of this adjustment decreases the contingency category by $128,353 from $4 million to $3,871,647, and it does increase the operating expense category by that same amount of $128,353 from $33,030,359 to $33,158,712. There's no impact to the total general fund, the general road fund appropriations of $37,030,359. It is recommended that a public hearing be held. Following the public hearing, should the Board of Commissioners concur with Supplemental Budget Number 3 for fiscal year 25-26, approval of the order will implement that action. And Mr. Chair, I'm hoping you and the rest of the board did notice that pretty much all of those items were items that have been before the board for contractual execution, and now this hopefully will clean up the accounting of those actions. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I seem to recall that. Before we open the public hearing, do we have rules to read?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The following are the rules for the conduct of the public hearing. Only the chairperson or a member of the Board of Commissioners may question a speaker. There'll be no interruption of a speaker from the audience and no debates on the floor. Applause is not permitted. The speaker may criticize the proposal, the board, or agency of the county, but the speaker shall not argue with another speaker directly. Any speaker may present an opposite view, but not in personal terms. A person wishing to speak shall sign in or raise his or her hand or Zoom hand and be recognized first by the chairperson conducting the hearing. After being recognized, the speaker shall state his or her name and address before proceeding with his or her statement. The chairperson may limit the duration of any presentation to the time necessary to cover factual information. Repetition by a speaker shall be avoided. Whoever violates any such rules shall first be warned by the chairperson to desist from such violation. In the event that such person is not so desist, he or she may be ordered by the chairperson to leave the hearing. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I just note for the record real quick that I spoke a lot more quickly than Joel today. And I would like you to know it's because I've been watching Dallas Car Sharks, and the car auctions have got me speaking a little more quickly.
Oh, that's good. Keep the training up. I think Joel still has you, though. Sorry. All right. Well, with that, we will open the public hearing. And we have no one signed up. Is there anyone wishing to speak on the public hearing today on the supplemental budget? Okay, none in the audience. Anybody online with their Zoom hand raised?
Mr. Chair, I do not have anyone on Zoom with their hand raised.
All right, then we will close the public hearing, and I'll look for a motion.
Move approval of order number 136-26.
And I will second.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes. Thank you. All right, moving on now into discussion and deliberation items. First item there is an order authorizing Amendment Number 1 to Jackson County Services Contract dated March 10th, 2026 with Garrett Heman, Robertson PC, order number 137-26. Mr. Chair, Mr. Jordan.
I don't know if it's Hammond or Heman either, but it kind of reminded me of Castle Grayskull when you said it that way.
He-Man.
Yeah, He-Man.
All right.
Garrett He-Man, Robertson PC, provides outside legal representation for the county on matters of which they have specialized knowledge and experience. In this case, we have a current contract in the not to exceed amount of $100,000 for the term of the contract, which is February 26th, 2026 through February 25, 2027. In this case, Amendment Number 1 will increase the not to exceed amount by another $100,000 to a total of $200,000. That therefore requires authorization by the Board of Commissioners. The amendment's effective upon execution. It's an additional expense of $100,000, and I do recommend your approval.
Thank you.
Move approval of order number 137-26.
And I'll second.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes. All right, our last item on the agenda today is an order authorizing a Starlink terms of service with Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, soon to be public. And this is order number 138-26.
Hopefully you got on the pre-order list for that company.
Well, it's a tough list.
Sure, in this case, the county does require satellite internet equipment and services to support the continuity of operations and ensure reliable connectivity in circumstances where our traditional communications infrastructure may be unavailable or insufficient. Space Exploration Technologies Corp. provides satellite-based internet services that meet the county operational needs for connectivity, mobility, and emergency resiliency. This specific contract is with specific regard to our Water Master's office. The term of service is effective upon execution and shall continue on a month-to-month basis until terminated as provided for in the terms of service. It's an initial annual expense of $859,000, which includes a $199 expense for one Starlink device and the $55 monthly subscription fee. This is being facilitated through our IT department. Of course, it will be charged out to the Water Master's office, and I do recommend your approval.
All right, thank you.
Move approval of order number 138-26.
I will second that.
Commissioner Sparacino?
Yes.
Commissioner Dyer?
Yes, thank you. That does conclude our agenda, so we are adjourned.
We hope that you've enjoyed this week's Jackson County Board of Commissioners meeting. If you have any questions on any part of the show, please feel free to contact your Jackson County Commissioners or staff. You can find their contact information at jacksoncountyor.gov. To review the content of this or any other meeting, under the Government tab, under Recorded Meetings, click on RVTV Live Streaming.